Alright guys, don't know why, but I decided to start without inviting people, so let's get people invited. Yeah, the girlfriend's out on a night out, so I've got the apartment to myself for a few hours, so I thought I would get a little bit of a chat going on. So I've sent out an invite through Google+, so if anybody wants to come, I'm going to send one to my little beer group and then to the beer coalition. So hopefully we should get a couple of people online, and if anybody wants to, feel free to get in touch, and I can send over links. We've got 2 viewers already. Nice one. Yeah, just wanted to do a little bit of a get together, to be honest. So I don't know who's going to join, don't know when people are going to join. I know a couple of people are interested in coming in and having a little bit of a chat, so we shall see how that goes. And yes, I'm fully aware that I look like a scruffy tramp, but when do I not look like a scruffy tramp? That's the question. So I might as well just get on with this, because we'll have dead air otherwise. 3 viewers. Hello to everyone who's viewing. Actually, I need to set up to be able to read comments, so I happen to do it the roundabout way, because my MacBook is so slow that it really struggles to have the Hangout open as well as like other pages. So if you just bear with me, hang on, so I can log into my other YouTube account so I can actually look at the stream. I'm sure there are much more easier ways to do this, but oh well. So yeah, hopefully we can get some discussion going on. And that doesn't want to work for some reason. Let me try. Hopefully you can't actually see me writing, so you know my login stuff for my shameless plug, Mondo Squalido channel, which I've not uploaded anything on there for absolutely ages. I can't remember what my password is for that page. Let's have a look. I'd just love to be able to get my comments. So I should have done this before I came online. I apologise about this, guys. Let me just do this. So I hope everyone's having a great week so far. I'm sure we'll have a couple of beer topics to talk about this chat, depending if anyone comes in and joins me. There we go. Let me see. Make sure I don't have the volume on. Hope everyone can see and hear me okay. Been having terrible problems with Google Plus and those Facebook. Let me have a look at that in a minute. Here we go. There's the page. Let's see if we've got any comments already. Because like I said, it just absolutely kills my my page. Let's see. Aussie Brew says hi. Hi, Aussie Brew. Dean Reviews says, hello, mate. Though I emphasise the H. Hi, Dean. If you're free, feel free to join. Post the link in the group. And Albano Rana says, other YouTube account. That's why he follows Paul's links to YouTube porn. Yes, the secret world that Paul introduced me to. Or should I say, the world that I became corrupted with. But yeah, Chad, if you can and want to, feel free to join. I'm sure more people will want to join when it's a little bit more of a sausage fest and there are actually people in the chat, not just me blabbing on about absolute bullshit. James says he's going to be joining in a sec. Fantastic stuff, James over at Rampant Line Reviews. And for those who are watching this after it's been live, I will be putting an update in the description box to anyone who pops in, so you can go subscribe to them down below. So please do that. Anyway, just currently having a little bit of a Pilsner Fest. Recorded a video today well, just before I came online actually, of looking at locally brewed pilsners, and I'm hoping to actually turn that into a little series where I look at the various styles brewed by local breweries, and then not really comparing them. God, I went on a massive spiel about this, just going off on tangent after tangent. It's going to be about a 48-minute video, by the way, when it's uploaded. And yeah, it's not really about these beers competing against each other. It's more about promoting what's going on in the local city. So I'll probably end up talking more about these beers a little bit later on in the chat, but I don't want to spoil it, because then what's the point in actually watching the video if you know what they're going to be like? One thing I will say is all of them high quality beers. Even the most staunched Pilsner hating craft snob cannot argue about these beers. Let's just leave it at that. Because I am, after all, a macro apologist, according to some people. Yeah, if anybody wants to join, let me know in the comments, that sort of thing. Open invitation to Aussie Brew, Dean and Chad, and anyone else watching this one. Just let me know in the comments. It's probably the best way, because it's going to destroy my laptop if I try and look at things. I bet I can. That's what Paul says. See, I've instantly forgotten what we were talking about. I think he's referring to the Pilsners. But then again, Chad, you're not a craft beer snob. You actually have a good rationale when it comes to beer, and that's what I like about people. I hate people who are just so like, oh, craft is best. Craft is, craft Uber hours. Just all that bullshit. Because yeah, there are some absolutely amazing craft beers. There are beers that just make me salivate at the thought of them. But yeah, I'm sure I'll get into it when there are more people, because it's not one of my pointless live rant videos. This is supposed to be a group discussion, and I don't know why I didn't just wait for actual humans to be involved in the video chat for me to get started on this one. So people who are watching this after it's been uploaded are thinking, why the fuck am I going to sit through this? Seriously. But anyway, these beer reviews, I'm the biggest beer snob out there. That's what Albino Rhino says. And Dean says, and fantastic point, craft is good when you can afford it. Yeah. I mean, that's the point that I made almost aggressively, I might add, in the video, about all three of these beers. Locally sourced, breweries are within like 10 to 20 minutes drive from where I am. All of them have high quality ingredients. They have a good reach. Blah, 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 blah. You find them in most supermarkets. Each bottle of beer costs less than €1. And that's like 500ml bottles. So when I'm seeing prices like that, when I'm seeing the availability like that, you can have your €8 KBS, which is a really good price, to be fair. You can have this like what was it? Like the €20 bottle of what Wild Beer Company beer was it? It's like £6 in the UK, but here in Germany they're charging like €20, and I'm like, no. Why would I not spend €3 and get 3 high quality drinkable beers? It just doesn't make sense to me. You can call me, like some people have, a macro apologist, which again, I'm sure we'll get into that when a couple more people join the chat. But I don't fucking care. A good beer is good beer. It doesn't matter who produces it. And I know Chad will agree with me on this one. Local isn't always best. You shouldn't just support local because it's local. If you've got a reason to support local, then support local. Go out of your way to support local if they deserve it, or if you can see them actually improving their product. And thankfully, in terms of beer, I'm good locally, both in the macro traditional sense and the craft beer sense, because Beretta, which is the only bottle shop near me, there are like some like franchise beer places which is more selling the traditional stuff, you know, and even the supermarkets are starting to stock a lot more like craftier beers. But Beretta do such a good job, but stocking both like German craft beer, and they're getting so many good imports. I mean, you know, I can pick up Beavertown Gamma Ray now on a fairly regular basis. I'm paying probably about £1 more than I would do back in the UK, but it's worth it. I just buy one can every time I'm buying stuff at the bottle shop and that sort of thing. I mean, you know, talk about KBS. They were selling the 2016 vintage of KBS for €8, which I did actually review, but I deleted the video. And this is probably going completely back on what I've just said, but I'm not going to pay that €8 again for that beer, because it was beautiful. Don't get me wrong, 10 out of 10 beer. But it's just like, for that €8, the cat just made a fucking nasty sound. For that €8, I can pick up some wonderful, wonderful beers. Anyway, let's check the comments again. What I note to Dean's comment is, it's not even craft is good when you can afford it, it's craft is good when it's good. And it says, I mean, you always see local is better, but local is better only if it's better. Completely agree. There is a good deal of horrible breweries out there that are craft, that are just ticking into the hype, and I'd rather drink the big guys stuff than some of those. Again, completely agree. Keeping in mind as well that there are some amazing macro beers, and some styles they just do better, like lagers, pilsners, radlers and such. Again, completely agree. And James says, hi, sexy. Hello. So, yeah, Chad brings up something, and I like the way you think, Chad, because you don't hold allegiance to the craft like some people do. A good beer is a good beer at the end of the day. And I'm sure we'll get into like the wicked weed stuff. It's inevitable, although I'm sick and tired of people crying like little bitches about it. Yeah, people act as if like the better half has been like sleeping behind their back when you talk about breweries that have been taken over by the likes of AB InBev and stuff. And it's just with those situations, there's a bad reputation about it. But you can't just have this like blanket statement of like, once a craft brewer has gone macro or has been acquired, that they're instantly bad guys. You know, and again, go back to Chad. I think you mentioned it on your chat. We don't know about the financial situation of Wicked Weed. They're a family-run brewery. Again, another point that you brought up. They're a family-run brewery. And who says 10, 20 years down the line, when I can't remember the guys, the surname of the people who own the brewery, but when they like retire, doesn't necessarily mean the next generation wants to continue with the brewery. So then they'll end up just selling it to get money. And then the brewery, who knows, the brewery could have friggin' disappeared 2 or 3 years down the line. We just don't know. A brewery is a business. Any business owner that says they would turn down tens of millions of dollars to sell a brand as they age is living in a dream. You can take care of your family with that payout. Exactly. And the thing that gets me about the people complain about it, you present that idea to them and they just completely shoot it down with no argument to come back with it. And then you get labeled like a shill for the macros, or like I was labeled today, a macro apologist. I don't even know what that fucking means. But who cares? As long as I'm enjoying the beer, as long as I'm enjoying the hobby, I'm not really too fussed. If I notice a significant lack of quality in a beer that I'm drinking, and that's the thing, a lot of these people, these like American breweries, where we might get like 2 or 3 different variations of their beer each year. So they've not really experienced the full Wicked Weed beer line. They just haven't. It's impossible because shit, a lot of people in the US haven't been able to try some of the Wicked Weed beers. And, you know, I can't remember who made the point, but I think they were talking about Ballast Point. Like, you don't really know, and it's impossible to do this, because if you were to have a beer like pre-takeover, like somewhere with like Ballast Point or something, is it Ballast Point? I can't remember. Like, oh, Goose Island. There we go, Goose Island. Like, you take a like buyout whatever bottle of Goose Island, that's going to be hella out of date. You know, a lot's going to fade, so you can't really compare it. But that's the only way you can really judge these beers, is if you can, with a straight face, can compare pre-takeover, buyout, whatever beer to post-takeover, buyout beer. And a lot of the times, that's just impossible to say. And your own prejudice gets in the way, and you end up just saying, well, this is a shit product now. I'm never going to drink it again. That's fair enough, but you don't have to like state it as a fact, because it's most of the time it's unproven. Anyway, let's see the comments. Apparently James was going to be coming here, but you know, whatever. Maybe he's on Scottish time. Don't know what that means, but whatever. See, that's me trying to be funny. I should never try and be funny. That being said, consumers freaking out is moronic. The breweries pulling out a festival is understandable, as it's their enemy. That's a very valid point. Paul McFucknugget has been making up words again. We'll talk about that when you finally come online, James. And they are saying, this one, Chad, they are saying you make excuses to make the macro guy be okay. There are many business practices I don't like with the macro guys, but all in all, they are no different than other businesses. James says, agreed, though. I'm giving you like a full transcript of the comments right now. This is what it's basically boiled down to. Me whining like a little bitch about people whining like a little bitch, and then giving you a transcript of the comments. Yeah, I deserve so many more subscribers. But yeah, agreed though, this James. Speak of the devil, and he may appear. Agree though, if a beer is good, that's the main thing. Most whiskey distills in Scotland ain't independent. Is Scotch shit then? Exactly, Sleepy from Chad. I can speak from experience that flavour faded with the buyout of Creemore Springs. The recipes are exact same brewer. What changed went from, I'm reading like a moron right now, I apologise. What changed was they went from a 10-plate DE filter to a multi-million-dollar complete zero filter. So they gained a great deal of shelf life and stability from a beer that used to only just last a few weeks. And that's the thing, it's like, I'm not saying that buyouts are great. You know, there are a lot of negatives. Products can become, what's the word I'm looking for? Not comprised, because that's open. Compromised. You know, products can become compromised. But with the Wicked Weave stuff, again, I keep going back to it, and I don't want to, but I can't help it. It's just too early to tell what is going on. Let me just check this. Having issues connecting some James. Hopefully you can join soon. And yeah, I think Craig and Jake are currently having a little bit of a get-together. So a big shout-out to those guys. That wasn't clumsy at all, Peter, but whatever. Yeah, I've been having major problems with Google. Because I just can't I can't use Hangouts with Firefox because they don't support it now, or they're working on changing their software or something like that. Google Chrome, ironically, doesn't work for me because it says that my camera's broken, when you can clearly tell that it's not. I had to use Safari for the last couple of times. I try it now, and it says that there are problems with my cookies, which I get that a lot from people. But I try and fix the problem, and doesn't do anything. So now I'm using Safari, and it seems to be working okay. But yeah, it usually takes me like half an hour to just get set up with this sort of stuff. Just because Google are just idiots. They're absolute fucking morons. And they want to keep evolving stuff that doesn't need to be evolved. And it just devolves the whole website, the whole structure. I mean, YouTube is a mess now. You know, I wish I was doing this back in like 2008, 2006, around about that time, when you could actually communicate with each other properly. You could actually post video responses. You know, it didn't become this like multimedia like production company sort of stuff. I mean, Philip DeFranco he's got a pay. Well, who doesn't have a Patreon now? He's got a Patreon. Philip DeFranco does not need a fucking Patreon. He's a millionaire, for fuck's sake. But people buy into that bullshit. And more power to the people who want to exploit it. Seriously, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, that was just the... Yeah, I've got some left. Nice one. Yeah, just currently drinking the Bischofshof Pilsner. And not too sure what the availability outside of Germany is for people in the UK, the US, Europe, and in North America. But a really good beer, and these are the guys that actually brew the Weltenberger Kloster stuff. Yeah, I've got Weltenberger Kloster being brewed literally like a 10 minutes bicycle ride from me. You know, you can keep your Omnipolos and your evil twins and stuff like that. Like, I love Omnipolo, by the way. Linky link. Let me see if I can copy that into the comments, which is going to probably take another like 10-20 minutes. Copy. It's a public thing anyway, so I'm not too fussed who joins. Oops, remove any web address and try again. Chad, I will send you that link through Facebook if that's okay. Because I've still not figured out Google Plus. Let's see. There we go. No, Control V, PM, or Control C. An idiot. There we go. There you go, Chad. And Dean, if you're free, feel free to join. Send the link to the group, but I could send it to you directly. But I'm not sure if you're actually on the road right now, to be honest. Speaking of Dean, like the Cardassians milk, if you can. Is that a beer, Dean? Not heard about that one. But yeah, anybody watching this, any of the 2 people watching, get in touch and we'll try and work out sending a link. Can drill though. That's a lovely beer. Really, really nice if you've not tried it. If you can get hold of it, try some. In fact, I'm not sure if this will happen. I'm going to message Dean. Hopefully Jane. Yeah, hopefully Jane can join soon. James, fucking hell. God, there are only light ABV beers. I'm thinking even Niche could potentially join a little bit later on. There we go. So yeah, let me just quickly check the comments again. Kim Kardashian. I had a sneaky suspicion it was Kim Kardashian that you were writing there. I wouldn't say no to Kim Kardashian's milk. I don't know. She is really overrated. Hey, Chad. Can you hear me? Just pouring the rest of the. I think it's in the right glass.
Sorry, I was having a little bit of technical difficulties there.
Who doesn't with Google? It's fucking a mess. How are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Like I was saying, I did the little Pilsner taste test thing, so I'm in good spirits.
Good to hear, sir. Good to hear. So you're a macro apologist, are you?
Yeah, I am. According to some.
No, I don't normally hang out with macro apologists, but I will today.
Well, I'm glad you made the exception for me.
Yeah, no, I was sitting at the computer doing a bunch of emails for my festival when the link jumped up that you were going live. So I thought I'd turn it on, start listening. Then I stopped doing my emails and started talking to you.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. I'm actually glad that we've finally got something started, even if I think you're only on for about 20 minutes, aren't you, Chad?
Yeah, you know what? I want to go live a lot more often myself, but I hate rambling just to myself.
Yeah, I don't know why I just started the chat. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm in the mood. Get it started. If people join in, fair enough. But at least had some discussion going in the comments, at least. But yeah, it's like, I've always wanted to jump in on the BDU chats, but with like the time difference and stuff, it's always been a bit of a pain.
I'm sure it would be.
Yeah. So are you drinking anything right now, Chad?
Not right now, no. I'll drink some stuff tonight when we actually go to do the BDU.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm not too sure what time she'll be back, but the better half's on a night out. So if she's not back and you're still online, I should potentially be able to join.
Be awesome, sir. That would be awesome. We had Rod out last week. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been watching them. It's always. I don't know. I like these chats. It doesn't matter who does them. There's just something about them when they've been uploaded to YouTube. You just sit back and just have them on in the background.
Yeah, I mean that's the best part about them. Any long video really that's just chatting, you just turn it on and listen to it while you're doing other things. You don't have to see Paul's face that way. Everything works out.
Yeah, exactly. Less of Paul is better, but the rest of the long videos are okay.
I'll wait and see if we get any other friends from Canada joining.
Maybe, well, because I'm not sure how many people I'm actually either friends with on Facebook or like in circles on Google Plus. Even though I very, very rarely use Google Plus. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, I don't care even if it's a troll or someone who doesn't have anything to do with beer. Just like, come on in, sit back, and it can get fun. It can get awkward. I don't care.
So you were doing a Pilsner tasting. Did you find a big variation in flavors at all?
Surprisingly, yes.
Yeah.
And it was really quite surprising as I was doing the reviews. I might as well just give my thoughts on them. So I'm not too sure how widely available these beers are outside of Germany. I know they do export them, but I don't know if you're familiar with the Bischofshof.
No, never.
Because I think that's the most widely exported of them.
Yeah, no, we mostly get like Holsten, Dab, sometimes Hab, some stuff from Schneider Weiss.
Yeah. Do you get any of the Paulaner stuff?
Every once in a while, usually around Oktoberfest and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the thing. It's like all these breweries, before I get into it, they're just really high quality beers. They're never really exciting, but they just produce beers that you're happy to drink, and you'll drink them and you think, yeah, I'll buy a few more, put them in your fridge, and then whenever you want a just casual beer, they're perfect for that sort of stuff.
Yeah, no, I see. I'm not a huge fan of Pilsners, but I think it's because everything we get exported here from Europe is like Pilsner wise is basically close to the same. Like there is slight variance, but not much. And then you get the Canadian and North American Pilsners, and you're looking at just over hopped lagers, and that's about it.
Yeah, there's nothing that pisses me off more when you get like a hoppy lager or a hoppy pilsner, and you don't get any pilsner or lager qualities in the beer because they've just gone so over the top with the hops, and it just almost becomes like a pale ale or a mild IPA, and it just don't market it as a lager or a pilsner if you can't detect that it's a lager or a pilsner. But more people are inclined in this market to buy that as opposed to like a solidly crafted, brewed, style perfect pilsner, and it's such a shame.
I mean, our pilsners are now starting, like our craft pilsners are now starting to go the route of like a pivo pils. So you're getting all the same malt aspects and everything, but you're looking at more new age hops, and a lot of them that are doing it are still doing just a subtle hopping, but with the new age flavors instead of like the spice and the grass and all that, you're getting nice fruity notes. So I'm actually becoming a fan of those, but I know that they're not really traditional pilsners at all.
See, and it's that sort of. I mean, I've probably got a bias because currently living in Germany, I'm just surrounded by these very traditional, Reinheitsgebot brewed beers, like going to keep to style and that sort of thing. But I do like to try like hoppy lagers. I do like to try craft lagers and like those pilsners and lagers that you were talking about. They sound really good because they sound like they stick to the roots of the style, but actually do something a little bit different, as opposed to just completely destroying the original style. Because I don't know, lagers and pilsners, I've just become really accustomed to just enjoying them as they are. And again, it's probably because of the fact that I'm living in Germany right now, and the whole brewing heritage is based on beers like lagers, Helles beers, Hefeweizens, and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think everybody ends up having one beer style that they're always gravitating to, whatever they want to drink, just all the time. And for me, like I love my stouts, I love my porters, I love my sours, all that sort of stuff. Like that's the stuff that I'm really into. But when it comes to just sitting down and drinking, and a lot of people make fun of me for it, but I always have about 10 Radlers in the house.
Yeah,
I love my Radlers, especially well-made ones, and I've noticed that really, for the most part, the well-made ones are usually the big guys. I love Stiegl. The Stiegl Radler is really good, but lately I've been buying a lot of the new Bud Light Radlers. They're almost a perfect Radler.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about the Bud Light Radlers, but yeah, again, being in Germany, a lot of the breweries that do Radlers, they also do their own sort of like they do their own mineral water. They do their own like sort of like fruit juice drinks as well, and like cola and orange. That's a very popular thing here in Germany. So they're actually using really good quality juice, or well, it's not always like fresh juice. They will use like a somewhat natural product, but you do taste the difference in those sorts of beers. And Radlers, they're that perfect blend of, when they're done right, you get that slight beer taste, but then you get the edge taken off it with a nice quality, slightly fruit aspect. And they're just so drinkable. But then you get some that are just so sickly sweet. So yeah, it's one of those things that I really enjoy a good Radler every now and then.
Yeah, like I drank a whole bunch of different craft Radlers, and just so many of them are again hopped. Like they'll use their really hoppy craft lager and then add juice to that, and I'm like, why would you do this? This does not taste good.
Yeah. And from what I've seen anyway, from a lot of the more craft brewed Radlers and session strength beers in general, they always seem to be just like regular, like strength beers, like 4 to 5%. And it's like a Radler shouldn't really be 4 to 5%. Radler should be about at minimum 2%, I'd say. And it's just like you've just got a beer and you've just cut it with like a fruit juice when you've not really blended it properly. I don't know if that's the same experience that you've had.
Yeah, there is a lot of them that do. You see it a lot in just things in general. I mean, originally when you would buy beers from Amsterdam Brewing in Toronto, you were buying high gravity beer. They were doing high gravity brewing, so they had like a 20 hectoliter brew house, but they had 80 hectoliter fermenters. So they would brew a beer that would be able to get to be like 25%, and then they would water it down until they got it to where they wanted it. So I mean, it was just a blending of the beer, and you're sitting there going, why is this not tasting properly? And that was their problem. And then they ended up getting a bigger brew house and didn't have to do that anymore, and the beer got so much better.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a easy way to cheat the system, I guess. Brew something that's 10%, water it down to 4 or 5. So what a lot of bigger guys do too is the high gravity way of doing things.
Yeah.
But that's another reason why I find it funny when people talk about macro evils is I don't think they realize how many craft breweries do the exact same things that the macro guys do that they're freaking out about.
Yeah, it's such a whole mess of a situation. And as soon as you hear that a brewery's either partially bought out or they become completely engulfed by the umbrella corporation, it's just like you kind of forget about what's actually happening because you just know of the shitstorm that's going to appear on websites like YouTube or the groups on Facebook, and it's like.
I mean, I can understand the sentiments that you want to keep money local and everything. I can understand that you want to keep the money in your economy, in your local area, in your state, your province, your country, whatever. But to the same thing, then you have to ask the question of where do you guys shop for everything? Where do you do your groceries? Where do you buy all your things? Because I bet you're going to Walmart for some of that shit. The big chain grocery stores that aren't completely local.
Yeah, I don't know. There's all these small hypocrisies with some of their arguments, and they just don't even realize it.
I mean, and then you see well, I'll never drink this beer again, but somehow every time Goose Island's Bourbon County comes out, there's people waiting in line to buy it.
Yeah, they're always
so if you're not buying that beer anymore, why are you buying their Bourbon County line? Oh, because I like it. But I thought you didn't want to buy it because they're owned by the big guys. Let me buy it all now. Because I'll still buy it. It's a great beer.
I've yet to actually try any of the Bourbon County stuff. But it's I'm more than, if it ever becomes available to me, I'm yeah, I'm going to snap that up because I want to try it. And I think since the takeout, or the buyout, not takeout, it's become so much more widely available, and they've also experimented a lot more with
the only thing with the Bourbon County line is that it's proven the one thing about the macro guys is they weren't ready for the expansion in barrels. They didn't understand barrels enough. They have all their guys in labs and everything that can make a perfect lager the exact same every single brew. They can make whatever they make in their systems. They can make them perfect every single time. But as soon as you added foreign bacteria and foreign everything else in a giant warehouse, instead of having 100 barrels, now you had 10,000 barrels to take care of. Yeah. And things started getting infected. And it was their lab guys were not ready for it. They didn't realize just what they were getting into. Will they figure it out? Sure they will. And they'll figure out a better way to do it that the craft guys will probably be able to cash in on and profit from.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a lot of the outrage comes within that early day period when it's just not possible for all the kinks to be ironed out. So the fact that people write these breweries off so quickly, I mean, again, it's like you said, I can understand why some people do that, especially if they've been a regular customer to said brewery. But at the same time, it's this initial outrage. It's just wait it out a little bit. There's so many other beers that you can that will help take your mind off this horrific personal incident that's happened to you. Just chill out, keep drinking good stuff, and then see what happens. Even a year down the line, see what happens.
Well, that's the thing, right? Things aren't going to change overnight. The second they're bought out, the only thing that might change is the owner / president CEO might be taken out, somebody else put in. Other than that, all the brewing equipment's the same, at least right away. You're still for a few months probably buying beer that's already been produced by them before they were bought out. It's not like that just disappears and everything starts over. You're so down a few months down the road, you get the first batch of beer that's brewed by them, but the equipment in the brewery will still be their equipment at that time, because it takes time to expand, it takes time to get all the licensing. And really, the only main thing that they do with these craft breweries is usually they bring in the Ultra Zero filter. Does that take away flavor? Yes, it does, because you take out all particulates. There's absolutely nothing left when they use that. But that's also how they get the shelf life that they get of years and years. So, I mean, it's a toss-up of what you want, because what the big guy wants is a product he can ship around the world, ship to different markets, and can sit there and not have to worry about it. And that's what he's trying to do. But at the same time, he wants to keep the same customers he had. So he doesn't want to change the recipes all that much. Are there times where things might get put in? I don't know. I don't brew at Goose Island. I don't know if they're putting corn in their beer now or not. They'll never admit that, whether they do or not. But in all honesty, what's the biggest change that's probably happened? A lot bigger equipment, a lot more distribution, and a much better filter.
Yeah. I mean, a good example of people writing off a brewery so early is the Stone Berlin stuff. And yeah, the beers, the brewery's only been existing, or the actual premises and the beginning of Stone Berlin. It's about a year old, maybe going over a year old. So they're not going to match that quality of the established Stone America beers. And people are saying, it's garbage. I'm not going to be buying anything more from these guys. And it's like, just give them time. Just let them have some sort of breathing period. And I think that's a big problem throughout the whole industry. I mean, again, it's like, is a takeover perfect? Hell no, it's not always going to work. But people just have no faith in this, and they just instantly turn their back on a brewery that they might have supported for 2, 3, 5, even more. And it's just, I don't know, it just frustrates me sometimes, the attitudes of some of the people who buy it. And again, Wicked Weed, it's going to be a subject that's going to be brought up time and time again. The UK outcry of Wicked Weed is just ridiculous to me, because people are saying, I'm never going to buy that beer again. It's like, you've probably only been able to buy 2 of their beers.
I haven't had any of the beers, and I live in Canada.
I've never seen Wicked Weed in any bottle shop that I've been to.
I've only ever seen it once in Copenhagen, and that's it.
Yeah. I don't know if I can take you seriously when you're not in your bed.
Yeah, James. What's your...
No, I've finally got connection issues sorted. It was the camera wasn't working. It was bloody AVG update. But yeah, here now.
Yeah, we can hear you, we can see it, it's all good. It's just Google, isn't it? Just Google is a fucking mess.
Yeah, I stopped using Chrome. I'm using some German one called Opera now. It seems to work quite well, actually. It's just, yeah, it was my antivirus that was going crazy. So, yeah. But how are you guys?
I'm doing good, thank you.
I'm sitting here alone in my house. It's quiet for the first time in a long time. I'm doing great.
I'm pretty much in the same boat, so it's all good. All good for me.
All 3 kids and the dogs are gone. All that's here is the cat. I can live with that.
Yeah, same here. And thankfully he's asleep, so he's not being an annoying tit tonight.
Going up on camera. Oh yeah. But yeah, no, I know what you mean about Wicked Weed and stuff like that. I guess one of the interesting things with it is it's like I was mentioning. I never really heard what you said after I made the comment, but it is kind of the whole thing. If they can make a decent beer, they can make a decent beer. I mean, when it comes to mind, I think about some of these ones that you can get a hold of, Augustiner and Paulaner and things like that. I don't think anyone can really turn around and say that, like, for example, you know, Alan or Salvatore is shit, or Augustina and Hellas is shit. You know, you just can't turn around and say that. I mean, if you look at the size of the operations that, like, for example, Duvel in Belgium have as well. I mean, Duvel own, I forget what, I know they own Firestone Walker, but they own another couple of breweries over.
Omegang as well.
That's the one I was looking for, yes. But yeah, I mean, they own a few breweries. And there wasn't the same outcry when Duvel bought them. I mean, Duvel is a pretty big company, and for a period in the late 80s, early 90s, I believe, like, they were, Duvel were producing Heineken under license, and that they used that to build the distribution network.
Well, the way a lot of the people over here look at it is Duvel wasn't one of the big foreign conglomerates because they're a family operated business instead of that. But at the same time, you're doing another little hypocrisy because you're okay with one foreign entity buying a brewery, but not another foreign entity buying a brewery.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the fact that it's A, B, InBev. Chances are, if it was another one of the bigger, like, presences in the beer industry, there'll probably still be the outcry. But again, it's just
there was an outcry when Heineken came out and bought some of Lagunitas, and in all honesty, the Wicked Weed purchase has kind of stifled the bigger outcry. Has become the bigger outcry because Heineken just fully bought Lagunitas.
Yeah,
so Heineken now fully buys out Lagunitas, but nobody's talking about that because everybody's freaking out about the AB InBev Wicked Weed buy.
Yeah.
Am I not right in thinking that Lagunitas were, before all the Heineken stuff, were they not the largest craft brewery after New Belgium? Like, by volume and stuff, the amount they produce, were they not the largest one in the world after New Belgium?
I don't know if maybe. I'm going to try and look it up because I know
I'm sure
Boston Beer Company was pretty big too, and there was a few other very large ones.
Yeah, because I mean, I guess that's the thing, because I mean, if you look, for example, I don't know how independent the German, I'd be interested to know that, like some of these big German breweries, like how independent the sort of parent company is. Because I mean, that's the thing. Germany has a lot of big business with all those car companies and stuff. I think it's just German business culture. And I mean, there'll be people who have a certain share in, say, Volkswagen, that also have one in something like Paulaner. You know, that's just the way it goes when your company is that big. And I think, you know, it maybe the whole thing maybe goes back to, in a way, I think maybe the whole craft beer scene is sort of like, it's sort of, in a way, it's leaning towards the left side of politics in a way, and I can understand that, because you don't, obviously, in a government situation, you don't want to have big business lobbying government over regulation and stuff like this. And, you know, I can understand the point that with craft beer, you get to that, you know, it's monopolization of the market. Like, in a way, it's like you have to save the capitalist economy from the capitalists. You know, it's that whole thing. I can understand that sort of aspect of it, but to me, I think you agree with me on that, Peter. People are just whining about something that in the grand scheme of the world is not the biggest issue.
I mean, that's the thing. I would fully agree with that. I mean, I can get behind issues with business practices. I can get behind issues with a fear of monopolization and all that. What I can't get behind is, oh my God, they bought my beer, I can't buy it anymore because it's going to taste horrible or this and that. If you're going to say I'm not buying the beer anymore because that's supporting the beginning of a monopoly, that's one thing. But what you're doing is not saying that. What you're doing is saying they've just been bought out. Their beer is going to suck now. I don't want it.
Yeah, I mean, I get you. I mean, in some ways, like, I was tempted just to stay away from Brewdog, but it wasn't because they sort of saw. The reason I considered staying away from Brewdog was because of the shit they did with Aberdeenshire Council. I mean, the stuff in a way, I think that we've talked about that before. The thing with Brewdog, I think, is they kind of shot themselves in the foot because of all their marketing shit.
Yeah.
But the thing that pissed me off quite a bit about Brewdog was the stuff they started with Aberdeenshire Council, like trying to buy land from them and then get offered them a fraction of the value, and then they put out a public statement trying to weaken the council's position when the law in Scotland clearly stated, the land, when you buy land, you have to declare its purpose, and the value of the land is dependent on the declared purpose of said land. Whereas Brewdog it was earmarked for a cemetery or something like that. Yeah, but Brewdog weren't willing to offer the amount of money for it to be industrial land, which obviously would have increased it significantly. And then that was one of the things I was tempted to just wash my hands of Brewdog, to be quite honest.
That's kind of angersome, because there's so many craft brewers that love Brewdog, but that's the exact type of business practice that Anheuser-Busch would do. So why are you against Anheuser-Busch but you support Brewdog if they're doing the same thing? It's not one is good for the goose, but not the gander. I mean, if one can do it, the other can do it. You have to accept that either both can do it or neither can do it.
Yeah, I mean that's just one of my things. Like, I mean, politically, I'm just kind of like, if a company, I mean, obviously to some degree, like if you have a collective, like some of the stuff that goes on in America that Rob's talked about before, like these things in Ohio where, like there's issues with, like these imperial stouts have to be malt liquors and all of this nonsense. Like if you need regulations changed to actually allow an industry to go, then I can understand why businesses lobby government. But if they act in a shitty way like Brewdog did over the land and things like that, like if the way that they're lobbying is in a way that's is detrimental to the industry rather than actually sort of helping it grow, if you like, then I think it's an issue. I think you can say fair enough, wash your hands of that brewery, don't support them.
And to answer your question with Lagunitas, they were ranked 6th for size. They were between Gambarinos, which I've never even heard of in Texas, and Bell's in Michigan.
Ah, right.
New Belgium was number 4, so they were really close. You were damn close to being right on.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Fair enough. Well, that's it. I mean, I've heard of Bell's, but I've not heard of.
Yeah, their list was Yingling, which a lot of people argue whether or not they should even be considered craft. But I mean, for the definition in the U.S., they are. Then Boston Beer, which is Sam Adams. Then Sierra Nevada, New Belgium, Gambarinos, Lagunitas, Bell's, Deschutes, Minhas Craft Brewery, and I would not accept them as craft at all. Plus, they have 2 factories in Canada, so they actually aren't all local. And then Stone would be next.
I'm surprised Sierra Nevada's not further up that list right enough, but fair enough. But I think it's an interesting topic because there's like so many different aspects to it. And I mean, I do wonder with the Brewdog one, for example, I think the thing with Brewdog wouldn't be such a big deal if they hadn't done all the marketing bullshit.
Yeah, I think the thing with Brewdog is they're their own worst enemy at the end of the day. Because they're like, we're anti-establishment, we're postmodern, all this like rhetoric that they spew. You look at where they are now, and you are a corporate entity at the end of the day.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, I'm sure I met James Watt and Martin Dickey like back in 2010. Like, I'm sure I met them when they opened up that first bar in Aberdeen. And Martin Dickey, I found him to be like a really just kind of down to earth guy, just like, but I don't know, like there was something about James Watt that the guy was a little bit kind of robotic. He was almost like our friend from her friend from the Alcoholics, who was a little bit kind of like robotic and business buzzwords and all this. We're awesome, we want kick-ass customer service. It was it was almost like that kind of American salesmanship sort of thing. It can get quite tiring. And that was, but I mean, James Watt is a lawyer by trade.
Yeah.
He comes from a family that's pretty well off. So, I mean, obviously you don't want to just kind of blackmail somebody. I think that's what they do, but it was kind of obvious that they wanted to build an empire. Maybe not in the very early stages when they're just homebrewing and stuff, but as they've got bigger and bigger and bigger, it's sort of the thing, when you have money, you get greedier. I think that's what's happening with Labour, to be honest. But they're trying to, you built an empire, why hide it? Why say, oh, we didn't build an empire? So it's stupid. That's what I think.
Yeah. It's like, it just served them so much better if they actually looked at what they had and thought, yeah, we are this somewhat corporate entity. We're this worldwide brand now. And that's the thing, they are a brand. And you can't be underground if you are a brand. There's like no individuality. There's nothing that separates Brewdog from anything else that's happening in the craft beer industry. So if they just accepted that and thought, yeah, we don't need to push this whole like punk aesthetic. It's just know your place. I mean, they probably do, but they're like still hiding behind this facade of being this like postmodern, whatever they want to call themselves this week sort of mentality. But it's just like, just be honest about who you are and where you are in the industry itself. And people will respect you so much more because you've got a devoted amount of people who buy your products on an almost like weekly basis. These people aren't going to turn against you if you go a different way. I mean, your whole like marketing on your label, like your beer label specifically, we can clearly tell that that decision came from like a marketing group. Yeah, you've got these little groups of people to give their opinions about what they want to see on the beer labels and how they want it designed. It's like there's nothing wrong with that. It's just evolution. Your brand evolved from a little shed in Scotland. I mean, you're still in Scotland. You're still primarily brewing in Scotland. Be proud of that. But don't like say, oh, we're against like this whole corporate image, because you are part of that world now. And just be honest about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing. It goes back. It goes back to that whole thing. It's all about conduct. I mean, I always think. I don't know. I find a little bit of a difference between the UK and Scandinavia, for example. Is you get people that in the UK, I think if people are rich, they want to show it off. Whereas in Scandinavia, a little bit, it's more humble. You just don't show it, and I find that with a lot of the brewers here, even folk like Amar. I mean, I happily put my hands up and say I'm a bit of a fanboy of Amar, and just remember just trying their beers and bullshit. But you meet those guys, they're really down to earth, and they just let their beer do the talking, and that's the same for most of the breweries that I've come across. I mean, you've got Brewski up in Helsingborg, Handbryggeriet in Norway, and the guys that you go up to Iceland, there's a board group that's up there who are actually part of a bigger brewery called Stalk, and then they're like they're an interesting one because they're like a sidearm of a big brewery. But even then, they're a national brewery, but they're just really humble and they just want to make beer. They just enjoy the foodie aspect of it. For me, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, really. Just the foodie aspect of things. And I just can't be bothered with the whole getting sanctimonious and all this sort of thing. That's just me.
I find the exact same mentality here in Germany with all the more prominent German brewers or breweries. A lot of them are family owned, and they've been in the family for generation after generation. They don't flaunt like, oh, look at us, blah, 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 blah. They just concentrate on saying, we're a family-run brewery. We've not changed that much, aside from the technology in our brewing facilities. You know, we're not trying to be like some of the like this superstardom that like someone like James specifically from Brewdog. You know, he always wants to be in the spotlight. You never see the other guy, except with the little promotional videos that they do.
Yeah, I mean, Martin Dickey was, I believe in the early days, I mean, they were both home brewers, but yeah, Martin Dickey is, he's just a quiet guy who liked brewing beer. That was his thing. Whereas James Watt was the sort of out the lawyer business side of the thing. That's what he was all about. And you can even tell in those Brewdog videos, like Martin Dickey's not really comfortable being behind the camera. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, James made me do this. It's okay. So, I'm getting paid for it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
it's an interesting point about the German family-owned thing, because I remember, Paulaner in Germany, if I'm remembering rightly, Paulaner own Acker Shore, don't they?
Yeah, they own a few breweries, and they own the license to brew a lot of breweries as well.
Openbro, I'm sure, are part of one of the group. Like there's a couple of the Munich breweries that grouped together. And I mean, it's just, if you look at those, like, you look at those breweries, I'm sure that, like, even when Paulaner took over Hacker Shore, they were like, no, yes, we're one company now, but we keep that brand, we keep the history of the brand, we don't even change the labels. And we're basically buying this to save it, because it's a historic part of Munich. And I think that's something I think you have to admire about the German bigger breweries. You know, they do have that kind of tradition thing. I mean, a lot of the companies in Germany, and I think that's just a kind of culture in Germany in a way, is that even with the wider political economy, Germany has more of a culture of small and medium-sized businesses. I guess that these brewers are a medium-sized business in comparison to like Volkswagen, Deutsche Bank, and our research ones. There is a culture in Germany of that medium-sized businesses, and that's something that I think doesn't exist as much in the Anglophone world. Like, I mean, if you think America, I don't know about Canada and Australia that much like that. In America and the UK, there's not. It's corporate. It's either you're a very small business or you're corporate.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's like this real sense of community in general here in Germany. I mean, you get so many like communal bakers where people can just like, oh, we want to do this in this premises. The people own it. Yeah, fine, do it. And you get that with breweries. I mean, a lot of German craft brewers don't have their own premises. They just go to different breweries around Germany. And they don't always brew in the same brewery twice. Some of the times, because there's like, obviously there's competition. There's always got to be competition. Companies have got to compete with each other. But it's just a natural thing. But a lot of times you'll see like a lot of these German craft breweries, and they all brew from like the same facility. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. There's no real. I mean, like the guy from Schneiderweiser. I mean, he's like, to me, he's like above the likes of like James from Brewdog or someone like Greg Koch, that sort of thing. But he very rarely wants that limelight. He just wants to brew his beer at Schneiderweiser, the family-owned brewery, very traditional, but still has this like, oh, we're going to do something new this year. Every year they do their TapX stuff, which is always like some unique take on the beer styles that they do. And I don't know, there's just this like really nice culture here in Germany where it's not about trying to outdo the rest of the people on the market. But it's just like, this is the product we do. We're proud of it. We're going to promote it as best as we can. But we're not really going to tread on anyone's toes. We're not going to... I mean, there probably has been instances where like they've... like money is probably past hands or something like that. But there's like just... we're proud of our brewing tradition, and it goes from region to region, city to city, province to province, whatever. And it's, yeah, we're happy with what we've got. We produce a high quality product for our domestic market. And yeah, we can sell some of our beers, not even just over abroad, but like we'll export it to different parts of Germany. And I don't know, it's just it's a really all around, it's a nice environment to be in. Being like a brewer, as well as being someone who consumes the product. And I think when you get like brands like Brewdog, even though I'm still a fan of Brewdog, because they do some really good beers, that ego just comes through it a little bit too much.
Yeah,
And you very rarely see that here.
well, that's it. I mean, it's that is the thing with Brewdog, exactly. It's just a sort of, it's a sort of world to be a famous brewer and all this. You don't, as I say, you don't really. I mean, the guys in Sweden. I mean, it's a Swedish thing to sort of, and I guess the Danes and Norwegians too. They love beer festivals. They love going and meeting other brewers and stuff. And I think that like they really, really love that. And it's just it's a community. It's kind of like in Germany as well. It's the community spirit. But I think maybe like for Britain and the States, it's maybe more of like the Irish island mentality in a way. The world is this. The world's this goldfish bowl. I don't know. It's kind of it's a bit depressing because it reminds me of the political situation back then.
Oh yeah, it always comes back to politics, whether in a literal or a metaphorical sense.
Yeah. I think it's very
Exactly. Atmospheric sound. That sound pretty much sums up beer sometimes, because just
awakening.
yeah.
No, that's the thing. But I enjoyed your. I watched your video that you did about Brewdog, the 45-minute one, and I quite enjoyed that. I sat and listened to that when I was brewing the beer. You might inspire me to do some blogging videos at some point.
You know, it's just like if I might, I know that I'm going to be in the apartment for myself for like 2 hours or so, and I've got beer in the fridge, and there's something on my mind about beer. I'm just like, Peter, it doesn't matter if you make sense. It doesn't matter if you talk about 10 different things when you're trying to talk about one thing. Just get it out there. Just talk about it. And then if you get discussion from it, fair enough.
Yeah, no, that's it, exactly. I was thinking about doing one with the Brewdog thing. And obviously I've got a little bit of an emotional connection to Brewdog in a way. Yeah, I thought that would be quite a cool thing to try. And I just sat and listened to the video. You did a J though. You said, "Oh, I think I'll wrap this up." About 20 minutes in, you're like, "I think I'll wrap this up now." And then you went for another 25 minutes.
I think you all said that. I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it, sort of thing. With like FABQ. That is still to be one of my favourite videos on YouTube. Is Ron J. Louisiana Beer Reviews response to the FABQ. That was just... I have no idea what his agenda was with that video, but it entertained the shit out of me.
I need to have a watch of Jason now, so I've heard you talk about that before. I need to have a watch at it. Yeah. I don't know. When are we? Is this? Are we going to do the Tannins Apple Roadhouse on this hangout as well? Yeah?
Yeah, that should be this Saturday. If because I think there's only going to be me, you, and Craig talking about that bit. So if it's still okay for you guys, I'm more than happy to carry on.
Oh, right. I'm misinterpreting the date. I was thinking it was today we were doing it, and then but no, 13th on Saturday. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That suits me perfectly.
I was just like, tonight, the girlfriend's gone out. I've got the apartment to myself. It's one of the few chances that I can actually properly get online and just... People want to join? Right now.
Just chill out and do your thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Are Craig and Dean and Jake and that not keen to come on?
I think Craig and Jake actually have a meetup going on right now in Canterbury, I think.
Oh, right. We should have got down. We should have got the phones on and gone live with us.
Yeah. And Dean has been commenting, but I'm not sure if he can join us. But it's one of those things. I don't care who you are. If you want to join, just get in touch and I'll post the link down below.
Yeah, what was I going to say? Because Rob, I think, arrived in Copenhagen today. So I'm going to cross to meet him tomorrow at some point. I was trying to make up my mind between tomorrow and Saturday. There's a couple of students who are going to cross on Saturday, but I've got a project thing to finish off, and my partner can only do the Saturday, so I need to. It needs to be tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the potential videos of when Hop's seen Matt Rampant Line beer reviews, which would be good.
Yeah. That'll be quite interesting. I don't know where we're actually meeting up and things. I don't know if Rob has Messenger as well. I don't have contact with. I don't actually have contact with people, so I don't know. Need to figure it out tomorrow. But they've got tickets to various things, and I'm not going to the festival because I couldn't justify the cost of it. Because it would have been like £50, but it's like 56. It's gone. It would have been like 40 odd pounds or something to go, but now it's like 56. I'm going to Japan, so I've got to be a festival in Japan instead.
Fair enough.
But, yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I need to go get something else to drink, so I'm going to be right back in a minute.
All right.
Oh, good. What should we do with his channel while he's gone?
You can show porn if you want. I don't care. Just make sure the chat doesn't go down before I see it.
What could we do? What could we do for people's channel?
Nobody wants to see me naked. Nobody.
Oh dear. Which province is it you're based in though? It's Ontario, isn't it?
I am Ontario, yes, sir.
Yeah. Whereabout? Are you close to Toronto?
I am Niagara Falls, so I'm about an hour and 45 minutes from Toronto, but I could throw a rock and hit the US.
Oh, right, you're like right on the border then.
Yeah.
Ah, not bad. So you managed to actually get a decent selection of things. You can just go across.
I haven't had a passport in a few years now. Basically, me and my wife's passport expired at the exact same time. And that year that they expired, the passports went from 5 years to 10 years. So the price went up by about $80 each. So it was $400 for the two of us to get our passports. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have that sitting in my pocket right now. And every time I do, something happens, like the windshield of the car gets broken or, stuff like that. So it just hasn't happened. And since I'm blind, I need her to have a passport too to get me across the border.
Oh, yeah. That would be it, yeah.
I'd just buy myself one, but then I wouldn't be getting any beer.
Oh, yeah, I can understand that. $200 for a passport, that's kind of hefty. I don't even think the ones in the UK are that price at the moment. But who knows? Because I've just got the UK one just now, but I'm sort of working my way towards the Swedish passport as well.
No, well, the 10-year passports here are, I believe, 160, and then the pictures are 20, and then you have to pay another processing fee if you want to get them sooner. And so in the end, they're not bad, but they are at the same time. I mean, you're looking at about $20 a year once it's done, but it's just doing them at the same time and having to do 2 of them. And soon one of my kids is going to need it because he's getting to that age where they're going to force him to have one too. So.
Oh, right, okay. Your wife is Canadian though, yeah? She's...
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And that'll be the thing for my missus and I at some point, is because she's Japanese and there's all these rules there about you're not allowed to, Japanese folk aren't allowed to hold dual citizenship, which is it's a weird one. And then of course that lays the minefield later of what nationality their kids and stuff would have to be. But I think we both kind of agree that it's better that they take a European passport anyway, because it's.
I've actually been contemplating getting both of us our European passports too, because the way they're worked out. My dad is right from Ireland, and so is my mother, and her her dad is right from Holland. So we could actually get our dual citizenship passports, and then if we ever travel to Europe, you travel in on the Canadian passport, and then travel between each country with the European.
Yeah, I mean, you could just travel on the European one from Canada anyway. Yeah.
The thing is, if I travel out of the country with the European one and something happens, I can't go to the Canadian embassy for help because I never left the Canadian borders according to their passport laws.
Oh, right, okay. That's a bit strange because I know that with the EU, well, it's going to change with Brexit, obviously, but we can, if you're a European citizen, you can go to any EU embassy and they'll assist you. So that's one of the rules, that you can get consular assistance at any European embassy. I think it isn't even EU. It might be the whole European Economic Area, like Norway and Iceland will help you, and Switzerland as well. So it's quite good. Like even if your country doesn't have an embassy somewhere, like there's a very good chance that one of the 28 or 30 countries will have. So yeah, I would say that to you, if you get the chance to get your Irish passport, do it, because I know that the Irish passport is one that you can pass down the generations as well.
Yeah, that's the main reason I want to get it before anything happens, because he still has to be alive when I get it, and yeah, he's had a couple bouts of cancer and heart attacks and stuff, so I should get it soon.
Yeah, I would just go for it. It's probably not, when it's Ireland as well, it's probably not that expensive to do. I would just get it done.
Yeah, I should actually even look it up. It's probably even half. Well, I don't even know.
Yeah. Well, that's be good with that. You can do that. I think that's what the people in Scotland wanted to do as well, was basically allow descendants to kind of pass their nationality down and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty cool. But that must be kind of weird for you, being really close to the border, just having this one area, like I can't go there.
Well, yeah, I actually, my passport expired about 3 weeks after hers because mine came in a little bit after hers. And I actually contemplated walking across the bridge and going into a store. And then I'm like, yeah, but if I walk across the bridge, I walk right into like the crime central of Niagara Falls. Not going to be doing that today.
Oh, yeah. I can understand that. Is it cheaper for you to buy stuff in the States then, or is it in Canada?
Most stuff is cheaper in the States. Then you're going to pay duty on your way back. So a lot of people will go across in their clothes and shoes and all that, buy new clothes and shoes, and then put that stuff on, like bring over stuff you're just going to throw out that's really old. We'll go over looking like a bum, buy stuff, put it on, bring it back. Then you're not paying duty. What are you talking about? This is what I went over in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, get that. Do your cars and stuff get searched for booze and things like that when you put across?
You can be searched. I've never been searched, but of the like 45 times I went across to buy beer, I paid duty 43 times. I know the rules that keep you usually from getting duty charges, but I would always get the exact same border guard on my way back. I got her every time, and she would send you in every time. And basically, if it's under a 24 beer or more, there's a flat rate. There's a flat duty rate. If it's under 24, they have to go through it all, look at the alcohol percentages, and do all the math. So they don't want to do that. So usually I'd buy 22 bottles. Show up, yeah, I have 22 bottles. Here's my receipt. And normally a guard will let you through. Like most of my buddies get through, but they don't get Meredith. I get Meredith every time. And she was this young, maybe like 28-year-old little blonde girl who was power tripping, and she would send me in every time. But of the 43 times I got sent in, about 20 of them, the guy just ripped up the receipt. He's like, just go. I'm not dealing with this. I remember we pulled up one time, and it was a whole car. All my buddies went. We ended up buying like 100 beers. There was 5 of us in the vehicle, so we each bought 20. And we got up there, and she sent us in, and we're all in a big line with our yellow receipts. And he goes, "You guys all together?" "Yep." "Get Meredith?" "Yep." "Give me those." Takes them. He walks outside. He looks right at her booth, points at her, points at the yellow tickets, rips them up, throws them in the garbage, and goes back inside.
Oh, I need to try that. The harder thing to know you did it. We're talking Chad's favorite border guard.
The border guard. I've heard a few stories of that, Chad.
Oh no, the border guard you've probably heard the story about is the full body cavity search. That was a fun one too.
Yeah, that's what it was. Full body cavity search.
They were talking about that at work last night.
Okay.
That was great to be sitting there for that.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah, my buddy Scotty sitting there in pre-shift with me, going, next time you have a passport and we go across, I'm going to tell them you have drugs. How deep are they? Go find them. You're an asshole. It was a very good bonding experience, though. You and 3 of your friends naked in a room with somebody sticking their arm up your butt. Very good bonding experience.
Yeah, I can imagine it's one of those situations where you don't know the people properly until you
until you've all been anally violated by a border guard. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot that can be learned and appreciated from a situation like that.
Well, one of the things I learned is I don't cross the border with those idiots anymore. It was all just a spiral. It was all a spiral. Like we're hitting the border, and my buddy's chief warrant officer in the Canadian military. Get up to the border, and he goes, "Oh shit, my gear's in the trunk." We're like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "I forgot to take my pack out. I have my gas mask and everything back there. It's going to set off the alarm. We're going to get questioned." So we get up there, sets off the alarm. The first thing that happens is, he's asking us where we're going and everything. Buddy in the back seat with me, and again, we're all like 300-pound men covered in tattoos. And one guy has like 4-inch ear stretchers in, like his ears touch his shoulders. "Where are you going?" "Oh, we're taking our buddy to the albino farm." We're going to the albino farm in Alabama. "Taking him home." "You fucking idiot. You were told to shut up at the bar." He goes, "Okay, pull over." We knew we were already getting pulled over. Pull over, get inside. Asking Ken about his gas mask. He goes, "Well, I'm a chief warrant officer in the Canadian military, blah, 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 blah. What's your number, right? Like, what's your service number?" "Well, I'm not giving that to you." just military training, right? They don't give it to anybody. What branch are you? We're not giving it to you. "And you're going to the albino farm." "Yeah." "Okay, all of you in this room back here." You fucking idiots.
Oh dear.
I think it's an experience everybody should get, though. I think everybody should.
Everybody should be evenly violated.
Yeah, in a strange way, I would agree.
Oh,
You decide really quickly if you're really good friends with somebody or not when that happens.
Yeah. Well, it's a good icebreaker, I suppose.
Yeah, it broke some ice.
Broke something else, but we won't talk about that.
Oh, dear.
Didn't ask my wife about anal sex for a while after that.
Oh man.
Speaking of anal sex, just popping into this bad boy.
Oh, nice.
So I used anal sex and bad boy in the same sentence. This is the Volterberg Foster Assenbock.
So that's a classic brew. Classic brew.
Oh, it's beautiful beer.
The latest German beer I drank was a non-alcoholic beer.
Was that the Krombacher Weizen?
No, the last one I posted, I should say, the Klosthaler dry hopped.
Oh, yeah.
It was actually probably one of the best non-alcoholic beers I've ever had.
I need to try. I've seen Klaus Haller around. I've never tried it.
We have a company here called Premium Near Beer, and all they do is near beer. And apparently, it's a big thing for them. They're starting a non-alcoholic craft brewery, and I'm kind of intrigued on that, but scared at the same time. So they're all like $37 2-4s, and I wasn't buying that at all. I'm like, okay, you guys have like 18 beers on here that I haven't had. Is there any way I can buy one of each of them? Like, oh, we'll make you up a mixed 6-pack for mixed 12-pack for this much. I'm like, okay, here's the list of beers I need. Send me whatever. And I got to try some non-alcoholic beers. Some have been horrible, and some haven't. And I mean, my list of non-alcoholic beers before that were fairly small grocery store beers, and these are a lot better than some of those.
Yeah, I can't say I've had too many non-alcoholic beers, to be honest.
It's an intriguing little experiment, right? Because there's two ways they do it. They either brew it and then water it down to almost nothing, or they don't brew it at all and you get just an under-attenuated sweet bomb. And
Okay.
both ways can be good and both ways can be horrible. I've had some good experiences of both.
Yeah. I think the best thing that I've ever seen here in Germany is a non-alcoholic Radler. It's like the morbid curiosity is just, I need to try this beer. What's a non-alcoholic Radler taste
It's just
like?
juice.
Yeah.
I keep saying it on these hangers, but the thing I cannot stand in Germany is fucking cola beer. That stuff is awful.
Oh, yeah. And it's always like cola Weizen mix. It's like, I don't want a cola mix with a wheat beer. I don't want a cola mix of any beer, to be honest.
I don't know why you would buy a beer in that way. I really don't understand that.
Hard colas are the big thing here right now, the big fad. I think today I bought a lime Ricky, a root beer, a cream soda, and an orange soda, all at like 5% alcohol.
Oh,
yeah. Nice.
Is that like in the vein of not your mum's?
Yeah, it's like that stuff with different companies. We were at the LCBO today looking around, and there wasn't really anything I hadn't had already. So I'm like, I need to buy something to review. So those were the choices. I really didn't need to buy anything. I think I have about 140 beers downstairs to review still, but when I walk in, I need to spend what I have in my pocket.
Yeah,
my wife gives me a beer allowance. I have to spend it.
Got to make most of it. It doesn't multiply with each month, so you might as well just.
That's the thing, right? I'm like a government construction company. If I don't spend the money, I don't get it back. It's just gone. So I got to go spend it. If I don't, she goes, "Oh, look what I found in your wallet. Your beer allowance. I'm using it for this."
Yeah. Thankfully, my beer allowance can go pretty far here in Germany.
What is the average price of beer over there?
I'd say, and this is probably not the best weighted average on price, but you'll always be able to get a high quality beer under €1. So I'm not sure how the euro translates to Canadian dollars,
$1.48 Canadian for a euro.
Okay, so I mean, the Weltenberger Kloster, for example, it's one of the German beers that gets exported to a hell of a lot of places, and this is again probably in some supermarkets you can buy it for less than €1, and then in some you'll pay like €1.08 or something like that, and that's like a what's the ABV on this one?
7.8 or something.
Yeah, about is that 6.9? 6.9 on this file. I'm not sure if they change it for the export market, but yeah, I don't know. It's like you'll always be able to find a high quality beer for less than €1.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find one of our very, very budget beers right now. This guy's a budget company. What is they? They are so that's not in a single though. That doesn't help me all that much. But our budget beers are $34 for a 24 case.
24 case.
I think about $1.80 or $1.85 is the lowest you're ever going to find.
Yeah, I think for the most part, if you're buying in bulk, I think they do like a crate of 15 beers. It's either 15, 12, or 14, depending on the brand. But you'll probably pay about upfront about 14 to 15 euros. And then, of course, you'll pay the recycling fees, but you'll always get that back.
Yeah.
So you can buy
our cheapest 4-pack is $6.50, so $1.60 a bottle, but those are 341 milliliter bottles.
Okay, because I know that most places do the 6 packs of Weltenberger Kloster for about €4.
Okay, so close to the same. You're a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
And then we have a 10 cent recycling fee on normal size bottles and 20 cent on anything bigger than a 340.
Yeah, I mean a glass like this, and if it's 500 milliliters or 330 for a regular glass, it's 8 cents that you'll pay and then get back. But if you have a flip top, it's 15 cents, and cans are 25 cents.
Wow, ours are only 5. Ours are almost worth more to keep yourself, crush, and bring to a scrapyard.
Yeah, that's the thing here in Germany. I mean, you're not getting extra money for like buying in. I mean, sometimes you do get good offers because they do have some good offers. Like you'll sometimes find it's mainly with like brands like Beck's where you can get 2 15 bottle crates for about €10, and they'll like throw in a glass or like a loudspeaker or something like that with it. But you're never really getting a super good deal from the recycling stuff. You'll always pay back like what you were charged in terms of recycling. But it still maintains that principle of people using the recycling charge against like the grocery shopping or something like that.
I mean, going back to your original thing with the big guys. So when we get our recycling charge back, we have to bring it back to the beer store, which a lot of people are against because the beer store is owned by Molson Coors, Anheuser-Busch, and Sapporo. So a lot of people were, whenever I bring my stuff back, they're like, "Why would you do that?" Because I'm getting my fucking money back, buddy. That's why. And anytime I bring my stuff back, that money that I'm getting back from my return is what I'm using to buy my beer there. Like I don't get at the beer store, but I'll go in. I have no problem going in, getting my $30 in returns because I bring 300 bottles back, and going and buying $30 worth of beer there.
Yeah. I'm not too sure because most pretty much every supermarket here in Germany, they have a selection of beers. Sometimes they have a really poor selection, but sometimes you'll be very pleasantly surprised. And you don't have to, unless it's a special bottle design, or because I don't know, it's like this weird situation. If it's got like a certain sticker on it, then sometimes you can only recycle that bottle at the place that you bought it from. But for the most part, it's like a universal recycling charge policy. So you can buy your beer at like one of the beer bottle shops and take it back there. I mean, sometimes with the imports, you have to take it back to the source before you can get your money back. But for the most part, it's just like, if you were to buy a bottle from one supermarket, you could change it at most bottle shops and most supermarkets. So they're really quite lenient on that sort of stuff.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Yeah. And the main thing is, it gets people actually actively recycling bottles.
Well, that's it, right? If you didn't have that 5, 10, 15 cent thing on there, a lot of people wouldn't return any of it.
Yeah, exactly. They'd probably just like throw it out in the normal waste and stuff like that, or just dump it on the streets. But that being said, you'll still see like big bags of bottles just thrown in the normal bins, and you'll see like mainly people who live on the streets, or like the old, like people who are retired, who will go around looking in different bins and taking bottles out because they can get like 8 cents, 15 cents, 25 cents.
You have that here too, yeah. I think you have that anywhere where there's those returns.
Yeah, and if you build it up, then you've got like a nice amount of money then to either use on your food shopping, or you can use it for to buy more drinks. And it's a weird one because you'll even see people at like airports looking through bins just to like take bottles and cans and stuff back so they can. And it's like, fair enough. If someone's just throwing like €10, $10, £10 worth of like glass or cans or plastic away, then yeah, just take it and use it for your own means. But then when you go to the UK, there's nothing like that at all.
Yeah,
Not at all.
Yeah, there isn't a plant system over in the UK at all. No, it's just kind of tuck it away and do what you want.
No. Unless you buy like bottles from like a small company that does like different lemonades or something like that, where they go around the streets. Although I don't think that's too common now, where you can buy like really cheap cola from people and different like lemonades with like different flavorings, where you'd be able to like keep the bottles, give them back, and then you get a discount on your next order and stuff. But for the most part, it's just like either you do what the local authorities allow you to do with like different bins where they take it on like a weekly basis, or it's like, well, just get rid of it. It's your job to get rid of it. So a lot of people just end up dumping it or fly tipping it because you don't get anything back from recycling your glass cans or bottles. And I don't understand why this isn't a universal thing?
It probably nobody wants to put the money into it. I mean, it does take a lot of money for the infrastructure to get all this set up. The beer store put in millions to be able to do this properly. And people still hate them on things, but I mean, they are the #1 recycling entity in Ontario, and they'll always be that because of the fact that people get money back for it, like you were saying.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You don't get like bonuses from it. It's just you get a little bit of a kickback, and then you can use that incorporated in different things. It's a very simple premise, and I think everyone could potentially benefit from it.
I don't understand why just certain places just choose not to recycle. To me, it's just
like here, I'm recycling all the time. We have recycling through our city garbage pickup, but I don't do it as much for a I want to save the planet thing. Like, sure, I don't want planet, but the main reason I'm doing it is mostly because I get a 1 garbage bag a week limit, and if you don't recycle, you're not getting all that out with 1 bag. You recycle, you're usually pretty damn good. You get it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where I think it's a universal problem where it changes from county to county, province to province, where they have their own little different rules and stuff. But where I'm from, back in England, it's just like, yeah, we're not going to get rid of a lot of the stuff that you throw away. You've got to do it on your own back. And it's like people are paying directly paying their taxes for these services. And it's like, yeah, we're only going to come every 3 weeks, maybe. And it's like, that's not giving anyone the incentive to actually recycle properly. And I don't know. But here in Germany, it's a lot more favourable in that regard, because if you build it up, you can get a good amount of money discounted off your next food shop for the month, that sort of thing.
I am listening. I'm also just perusing the beer store website now for what I'm going to buy with my next returns.
I'm trying to figure out
it's funny because I'm getting a phone call and I have to accept it because they won't stop phoning me. So I have to leave the chat again.
All right.
We'll try and behave. Try.
It's all limits. There's no limits. You can do whatever you want on this channel. Well, to an extent. I'm just going to leave that there.
Anything
we should get Paul in here now. He can do whatever he wants on the channel.
Oh, yeah. That man is ridiculous. I love him. Yeah. Oh, dear. I'm trying to figure out my schedule for my channel at the moment, because I'm trying to figure out how many beers I need to buy, because I'm trying to sort of go on the shoestring, because I'm going back home for a couple of months, so I'm trying not to have anything lying while I'm here, while I'm still in Sweden. And I'm just
You have a lot of stuff lying around right now.
I've got I think I've got about 10, and I think I should be getting another couple tomorrow in Copenhagen, and then I've got 3 on order. I'm just trying to figure out how many beers that I've got and how many I need. I think I've got another 18 reviews that would come out if I publish one a day. I've got 18 reviews that or 18 slots that I need to fill. I've already filmed like another 5, so I think I need to I've got to fill another 13 or something like that. But yeah, no, I'm just trying to figure that out. It's just my brain's not working. I think I'm just too tired to figure out beer, which is a bad thing.
Well, you aren't in your bed today, so that's different.
I'm in my bed now.
Oh, I'm not even on that screen. I'm not gonna go look. It's just.
I'm just
Oh fuck! You are back in the normal spot.
Yeah, back in the dark. I need to put the light on actually, so it's shitty. But yeah, I've got a couple of things. I think for my last review, well, I'm going to sign off from Sweden for this time, because I'm going for 2 semesters to England to do my teaching license, and then coming back and using it here. So my plan is, because I've never reviewed it, I want to do the beer that was the very first Swedish craft beer as the last one. I think that would be quite a nice thing to do. So I need to buy one of those bottles, which would be cool. It's an English bitter though, which I'm not looking forward to.
No. I like the like, for me, English style wise, I'm a big mild fan. Like the lower ABV, the better for me from the. But yeah, I normally like just regular bitters and ESBs and all that. I just find them boring myself. But I know they're loved. They're loved pub ales.
Oh yeah, no, I mean the ESBs and stuff. Not a great fan. Like, I think when it comes to English beer, the darker the better.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't get all that many. Like, we get a lot of English beer, but when it comes to the type of things I'd like to get, you don't normally see them. We did get a beer pack. Like at Christmas, we usually get all these mix packs of things coming out, and we got a mix pack a few years back that had all English pub ales that were all under 4, and there was a couple like really good dark English milds at like 3.5 and stuff, and I was like, I love this. I want more of this.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I mean, I love my imperial stouts and everything, but I think the Irish blood comes out where I just want to drink all day. And
Yeah.
as good as my liver is at filtering out alcohol, a 3.5%er all day is much better for me than a 10%er all day.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, I'm not really such a big drinker, to be honest. I just like saying, oh, look yourself, no, I'll have an imperial stout and have a go of this. It's quite interesting. I mean,
I mean, if I'm not reviewing or doing my chats on Wednesday night, for the most part, I don't drink. Every once in a while, I'll have something, but yeah, for the most part, it's whatever I'm reviewing. And my review nights, I'll do 3 or 4 beers, but that exponentially goes up with the more people we have because we share the beer, right? So if there's one person with us, then we do 6 to 8. If there's 3 people, we're looking at 9 to 12. But again, we're still only drinking 3 to 4 beers. It's just we're splitting each bottle come down more and more.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's the good thing, though. Sharing beers is always good fun.
Yeah, well, it's great also to have other people just to share opinions with at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you can't figure out what it is you're tasting, and they'll say something, and you're like, okay, that's not really what I'm tasting, but that brings me to where I want it to be, like this. Or you can have a conversation about what you're drinking, what you're doing, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's it. Get a lot of you do that is the good thing is you can pick up on things that you wouldn't have normally, which is always good. That's what I quite like doing with my videos. That's why I kind of put the research into them that I do. I quite like learning about new hops and like, oh, if this is the first time I'm trying this hop, so I should get this aroma, I should get this flavor, sort of thing. You're always sort of teaching yourself new things and stuff like that, which is always interesting. Yeah. Is there anything have you come across anything interesting in your beer store that you're raking through?
Interesting, no, but I found about 6 beers I haven't had, so I'll try and get them. They're not going to be much. I mean, they're all just, for the most part, adjunct lagers and big brand beers, but everything, because you never know when you're going to find something that you actually really like. If I wanted to snob out and only drink craft stuff and all that, there'd be a lot of beers that I like that I wouldn't end up. Also, there's a lot of beers, like I've said before, in the craft industry that I hate too. So I mean, you can't win. You need to be open and you need to be willing to try things. And even in a style, and you get this all the time. And I don't know. Well, I get this all the time. I don't know if you do on your stuff, but you'll try a style that you will openly admit isn't your favorite style. And then you'll get, well, if you don't like the style, why do you drink the beer? Well, because I want to find something in that style that I like, or I want to find what it is in this style that I like or dislike. I want to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean that's how I always get this with like ESPs and stuff. Like I tried like a couple of them because a lot of breweries in Scotland do them. So I've tried my fair share, and I've just, as I say, I found like one or two that I could drink and think, oh no, that's nice. But I've never found any that really have sort of blown me away, if that makes sense.
No, it makes total sense. And I mean, that's where I am with a lot of things. There's a lot of things that don't blow me away in say the lager category, pilsners, adjunct lagers, light lagers, all that. But there are some that I find that I'm like, damn, I like this.
Yeah.
Craft lagers too. I don't particularly like craft lagers. I find them to be just over hopping something, like making as cheap a base beer as they can and then just over hopping it. But every once in a while, I'll find a craft lager where I'm like, holy shit, this is a really good lager.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. I think I'm experimenting in the homebrewing with lager a little bit, and we used we're not dry hopping it, but we've used Peril in it. We used Opal as the base hop, and we've used Mandarina Bavaria on the top, which should be quite nice. So I'm interested to see how that turns out. I think we mainly used Pilsner malt, and we put a little bit of biscuit, and I wanted to put just like 100 grams of caramel, and it's an imperial pils that we're doing. I'm interested to see how that turns out.
Sounds like it could be very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the other cool things as well. Like through the homebrew and stuff, I'm discovering hops that I never even knew existed, like South African hops, and then there was one from America called.
I actually just shared a news article about a South African hops.
Oh.
Anheuser-Busch just announced that they're not going to allow independent brewers to buy their South African hops anymore.
Oh, that's shitty.
Yeah. So I mean, like, and it still segues back into what he started with. I mean, I can totally get behind not liking a company for its business practices. If you don't want to support them because of that, because they are cornering a market on something and not letting somebody get to them, sure. But just no, I don't want them because they bought my beer company. Fuck off.
Yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, on that group that we often talk about, the UK Craft Beer Forum, there's just so many like salty personalities. Well, I suppose it's not really. There's not that many different ones. There are a few kind of snobs, but it was the admin guy that kind of winds us all up. He doesn't even wind us up. We shouldn't give him that kind of credit. He's just a dick. He is actually a little dweeb.
Well, I mean, even in my, like, everybody's circle will have it. You will range everywhere from somebody that is, no, I'll never drink craft beer at all, to somebody that's, no, if you drink anything other than craft, you're an idiot. And I mean, every group will have people that way when you look out. And I mean, even I do. Well, the guy in the basement, Chris, the guy that does some videos with me and does brewery stuff with me and all that, until I forced him to start drinking craft beer, he would never touch it. He didn't want anything to do with it. Coors Light was all he ever drank. And now he's drinking a lot of other things. I mean, sure, his bar drinks are still Coors Light and Guinness, but it's not like you have many choices at the bars he goes to. But when he's at home, he's actually buying beer that he really enjoys now, that he enjoys the taste of. Like, we were at the LCBO today. He bought an oatmeal brown ale, some barrel-aged stout, and a few other things for tonight's show. He's like, yeah, I'm really excited to drink these tonight. This is coming from the guy that drank nothing but Coors Light for 30 years, you know? Like,
oh, yeah. That's it. I mean, I'm trying to get my cousin into some of these, because he's just turned like 17, and he's like, oh, I just want to drink lagers and stuff. And he's like, I'll drink anything. You're giving him these stuff, and he just doesn't get it, that it tastes quite different sort of thing. I'm trying to get him to be a little bit more geeky with it and just like, oh right, that's because of this and stuff. But he just wants to drink it. But
Yeah, you just have to be open and experimental. I mean, for me too, like when I started drinking, I did have some formidable years of heavy alcohol consumption, as a lot of teenagers did. And when I started drinking, I didn't touch actual beer because I didn't like the taste of it, to be honest. Like, I had a few beers here and there, and you're adjunct bloggers, and I'm like, I don't like this. So when I started drinking, party drinking and all that with my buddies, it was coolers and hard liquor. And
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's why I was easier to get into craft for me, was because I never liked the taste of that to begin with. Because you find the guys that just love the adjunct lagers, and they don't want the other taste, and it's because your brain is just programmed. This is what beer's supposed to taste like, because taste is all about paradigms and everything else. So if you make yourself believe that that's what beer's always supposed to taste like, your body isn't going to like it first when you start drinking the other stuff.
Yeah, no, that's it, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I was the same. Like, I never used to like the taste of beer. I just didn't like it. And then that obviously changed, and I got really into the first beer, because I had like a really strong flavor palette. Like, I like things, if it's garlic, I'm just like absolutely just hammer it with garlic, and I'll love it.
So do I.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same as that. But if it's just good, if it's just shitty and doesn't have that much flavor to it, it's not really interested in it. I prefer things to be absolutely like just laced with flavor. I find like things that are mild flavored boring. But at the same time, that said, I do like Japanese food. I don't know what it is about Japanese food. It's more mild and all about harmony and this kind of thing. But I really like the way some of those some of the stuff there comes out.
Yeah, see, I'm a huge spice fan. So my three favorite like exotic cuisines for me is Mexican, Thai, and Indian.
Oh, I love a good curry. I love a good Indian curry. Yeah. Have you been to India before?
No, I have not.
That's one of my places on the hit list. I want to see what curry over there is actually like.
Yeah, I've been trying to find a place, like Vindaloo is the spiciest curry I can really get around here. I've been trying to find a place that does. I can't even remember the name of it now. Why am I brain farting? I was just talking about it last night with one of my Indian coworkers, if he knew a place to get it. It's a good thing I'm on the internet and I can just type this in.
Oh yeah, it's so annoying when you get the brain farts like that and you just can't remember what's going on. That's one of the things I hate most.
Fall is the one I'm looking for. It's supposed to be the spiciest curry in their cuisine. I don't know where to find it, but I've been looking.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I can't think. I mean, I'm not such a great fan of hot. Like, that's one thing I really don't like is chili beers. I'm not a great fan of those. But I think
I love hot, but it has to have flavor. It can't be like extract or anything. Like, I used to write for a hot sauce company. I would do blogs about their sauces and stuff. And well, it was a hot sauce retail company, I should say. So I would have sauces from all over the world. Like, I have 300 sauces in the basement, and anything that had extract in it, I hate. I just that burn. You just get that chemical burn all over your tongue, and it just covers everything. But you give me the hottest pepper in the world. You give me like a Carolina Reaper, I'll eat it. It'll burn for like an hour, but it's not the same type of burn. Like, it's heat, it hurts, it's all that, but it doesn't chemical just kill everything.
Yeah. It's not like a saturation. It's actually quite an enjoyable flavor.
Yeah, and that's it. It also has a flavor. I mean, that's I love hot, but it has to have flavor. It can't just be let's throw as much of something in it as we want. It has to be flavorful.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
But I want to cry when I eat it, and I want to cry when I shit the next day. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Now, if you've put so much stuff in it that I cry when I pee at the same time, then I'm in trouble.
Yeah, then that's not cool. I can understand that. I mean, I don't know. I need to it's one thing I've not really experimented too much with yet. Is Thai food actually, because Thai food is quite common in Sweden, to be fair, but back home it really isn't that common. So I need to experiment with that a little bit more. But you know, Indian curry and things, I absolutely love it. But we get really good quality stuff because there's a lot of the. I don't know if you would have heard in Canada, but have you heard of the Gurkhas before?
Ooh, no.
The Gurkhas are a Nepalese regiment that fought with the British Army, and a lot of the guys that were in that regiment, quite a few of them stay, and a number of them open up restaurants and things like that, which is kind of cool. And we get like really good Indian and Nepalese food here, which is awesome. So that's something I did.
I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I try to be as open and experimental in my cuisine as well. I know the things I don't like. I'll usually try a little piece of it. Like, I'm not a big seafood guy. I think it's the texture more than the taste. The texture and the smell, the aroma usually turns me off as well. But I'll still try the stuff because I want to know. You know, like, I'm not allergic to it, so I might as well try it. I don't like it, but hey, give me a tiny piece of that. Let me try it.
Yeah.
And I mean, here you don't have, like, there's a wide variety of cuisines, but you don't have a wide variety at the same time, mostly because we're in Niagara Falls, so we're in a big tourist area, so the majority of your restaurants here are big brand stuff, you know, your Burger Kings, McDonald's, Wendy's, KFC, all that stuff. So finding the mom and pop shops that do more authentic stuff is hard, but when you find them, they're usually really good.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's it in a nutshell. Yeah, you have to search around to find good stuff.
Yeah, like there's the great burrito place on the other side of town. It's called Frijoles, and they make beautiful Mexican sauces and everything there, and their own salsas and everything. And it's a nice, like, pound-and-a-half burrito. So I go in there because, you know, it's a giant burrito, but it tastes amazing. And every time he makes a new hot sauce, he gets me to try it. And I'll go in. I'm like, I need like 5 scoops of your tin sauce. Their tin sauce is like just a ghost pepper puree. And they're like, no, you don't. And the owner's always laughing. He goes like, you have no idea. Just give it to him.
I have to admit, like, I can't handle the hot food. I always get the gas after the hot food. Like.
Yeah, I'm really. I love eating hot food, but the next day.
No, it's usually eating it. It's fine. It's sitting in my stomach is fine. It's like that 2 or 3 hours after you've eaten it and it moves into the intestines. That's when it's not fine.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's just this uncomfortable burn for the next like 3 hours until you're ready to get rid of it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is when your arse can basically weld the Titanic back together.
Yeah. I think, as pathetic as this sounds, my limit is like a good sriracha sauce. We've got that like slight sweetness.
When we go to, there's a Vietnamese place down the street, and we'll go for soup after work every once in a while, and I'll put almost an entire bottle of sriracha in my soup.
Oh, dear.
But then I feel horrible.
That like flavor to it. It's got a lovely, genuine flavor.
Yeah, slight sweetness, the nice saltiness, the garlic.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't even know. I don't know that. I need to get more into my spices and herbs and all this sort of thing. Yeah. For me, it's just garlic. Annihilate it with garlic, and I'm happy.
I love annihilating things with garlic right before I go to work.
I love it.
Yeah, but is that actual garlic or garlic powder?
Actual garlic. You have to buy real garlic.
Yeah.
It's cheap as hell too. Like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, you can buy like 6 proper. Is cloves the individual segments of garlic, or? Well, yeah, you can buy like 6 full buds where you get like about 10 to 12 cloves of garlic in for like less than €1. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna buy that. I probably won't use it before it goes all like dried out and stuff, but can't say no.
Mm. Oh yeah. Mm. Have you guys? What are the best beers you guys have had the last couple of days then?
Best couple in the last couple days. If we're only looking at the last couple days, I unfortunately have to say Bud Light Radler because I've only had like 4 beers in the last couple days.
How about you, Peter? Anything interesting getting thrown up in Germany? Peter Dad. I think we've got some lag from Peter, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. There we go.
But
We get Peter back.
the,
No, we
the
don't.
thing is, can you
You're cutting in and out.
see in
Peter's computer's getting terminated.
Well, if he ends up coming back and you guys don't get kicked, give him my sincerest thanks for having me. It was great talking to you too, but I'm looking at the time and I still have to cut my lawn before my wife gets home or she'll kill me.
All right, okay, no worries.
I gotta go do that.
I'll hang on for a little bit and see if Peter.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Bye.
Right, cheers now.
Bye.
See you later. How's it going, Peter? Hmm. Well, I guess Peter is died. I don't know if this chat will end up finishing because Peter's not here. But yeah, we'll just see how it goes, see what's actually happening with him. Let's look up the Facebook chat. Where is he?